entrepreneurs, movers
We're
and
live.
shakers in the industry.
We are
Welcome
live.
to the People of Power.
We are live. Ooh.
Hosted and created by
We are live. Okay, so now you have that. Please guys, you can share this how live and vibrant we are. Hey, share with friends.
Oh, we are fully on.
I hit this. Yeah. Well, Felicia's watching Felicia. Now, do I share with friends? Yeah, hit that. Oh, wait a minute. Go back.
the People of Power Show.
Share. The People of Power Show. Hey, everyone. As I'm helping Felicia get technically savvy over here.
Okay,
Post.
I need a little help, whatever.
Post that. Okay, let me start our sharing. Give the church 1 minute, please. Give the church 1 minute as we start sharing and sharing and caring.
I'm getting better.
You are. There definitely has been improvement in there. So hey, everybody, please hit the share button if you're watching this. This is a very, very important show that I think impacts everybody, not just Florida, right?
The whole U.S. The whole United States.
That's a lot of people. So we need to make sure that we're sharing. I'm going to actually
That
share.
includes Puerto Rico, Guam, the Virgin Islands, U.S. Virgin Islands, Hawaii,
Right. Okay.
Alaska.
So Puerto Rico is a part of the U.S.
Yes,
it is.
Puerto
It's
Rico is
territory.
part of the United States, yes.
Okay, because that was a little.
Only one person I know doesn't know that.
Where's my shade fan when I need it? All right, so I'm going to start sharing with my groups. And like I said, if you are joining us, good evening. It's the 7 o'clock edition. I know I'm normally on 8 o'clock, but, when you're sitting next to two powerful women, you have to get in where you fit in on their busy schedules. My name is Kitty London, host and creator of the People of Power show. And I normally sit with CEOs, entrepreneurs, people who are doing amazing things, some celebrities. I feel like you two are celebrities.
Okay.
Virginia is, for sure.
Don't know about that.
Okay, well, I feel like they are celebrities. And every week we sit down and we talk about, trending topics. And speaking of trending, shout out to my new tribe, Black Girl Trend.
Yes.
So Black Girl Trend, make sure, help the Black Girl Trend and hit the share button because sharing is caring and it is knowledge and knowledge is power.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I'm going to let you two do your brief introductions. I know a lot of people know these two faces here, but, I don't want to assume that everybody knows you.
I never assume everybody knows me.
So, I'm going to start with the lady in red.
Okay.
All right.
Good evening. I'm Virginia Baker. I serve as the County Administrator CEO for Palm Beach County. And I've been in this position a little over 4 years. I've been with Palm Beach County for a total of 32 years. So this is a beautiful county, and we want to keep it that way, and we want to ensure that our residents receive their benefits from the federal government.
Okay.
Well, good evening, Miss Kitty London.
Good evening, Miss Alicia Smith-Gordon.
It's great to be here with our Chief Administrator of Palm Beach County. She's indeed a friend of mine. I'm here today in the capacity of being an advocate. As you know, I am a trial lawyer, personal injury, but today specifically for your topic, I'm here as an appointee on the Town of Haverhill Census Complete Count Committee.
Okay. Now, I think census, when you think about it, I think a lot of people really don't know what the census is. We hear about it. I mean, I've heard a lot of it lately, PSAs on the radio, even on TV now. So I think for people who don't know, they're probably like, well, what is the census? What does it do? Because it's not something that comes around often. It's every 10 years. So if you was asleep around 10 years ago, you don't know, hey, so we're getting some shout outs. I just like to say, hey, to the people who are watching. Christopher, please make sure you hit the share button. But the census comes around every 10 years. So now that we have social media, because 10 years ago, we really didn't have social media like we have it now. We kind of have no reason not to say that we don't know what things are. And this is why we're here now to explain it. Let me just give you a little brief history of it. Once every 10 years, the U.S. Census Bureau does a complete population count, surveying every resident in the U.S. This count is mandated by the Constitution and requires reaching millions of households. USAF Acts is giving you a history on the decimal census survey and everything you need to know in the participation. So when we say that everyone counts, everyone matters, it's true.
That is absolutely correct.
And this has been, since 1790.
That's correct.
Okay.
That is correct.
So I just want to give a brief history on that.
Very
And
good.
thank you for that history.
welcome.
That is awesome. Everyone does count.
Okay.
Each person that's breathing equates to roughly $1,600 in this next census.
Wow.
And so Palm Beach County has roughly about 1.5 million people living in it. And you take that 1,600 times 1.5 million, we're looking at roughly about $2.4 billion that we would generate just based on census count. And
Is that per
census
year
lasts
or
for
over
10 years.
10 years.
10 years. Okay.
And so you take that 2.4 billion times 10 years, we're talking $24 billion that could come into Palm Beach County. And when we talk about that, there are a lot of federal programs that utilize the census data to determine how much money is sent to your county.
Okay.
And so those dollars look to fund or assist us with education, healthcare, nutrition, dollars such as SNAP, etc., roads, public safety, infrastructure, and many, many more programs that we can apply for, receive grants to serve the residents of Palm Beach County. In addition to that, census count also determines your representation at the federal level.
Okay.
It also provides for your representation at the state level, our legislature. And then it also provides on the local level for your county commission districts and how they're allocated, along with municipalities and their councils as well. I have had the pleasure of being the Palm Beach County's census liaison for 2000 and 2010. But now that I'm the CEO, I will not be the liaison for this. So we have staff that will be leading it. Lisa Delorionda is my county person that will be out with the census. We've got other partners within the county that will be out speaking. We'll all be out speaking. Census is very serious. It is very helpful to us, and so we are pushing it from a county level. So if you visit the South Florida Fair, we're also distributing bags and information about the census. We have created for this year's census is going to be electronic.
Primarily.
So you must go online and register. You have to complete the forms online. For those individuals that don't have computers or your computer is not up to par, our libraries will be, Palm Beach County libraries can be utilized to fill out the forms. And we'll have people there that will be able to assist you. If English is your second language, we will have individuals there that can speak your language and help you fill out the appropriate forms. The information collected by the Census Bureau is held in the strictest of confidence by the Census Bureau. It is not shared with other entities. So you should not be afraid to fill out the forms and you still be safe without your home being raided or anything to that effect. It is against the law for the Census Bureau to share this data with any other entity.
Okay. And I think that's maybe a myth, or because 10 years ago, I remember when people would come by your house, knock on the door and ask maybe how many people were in there.
They still will.
They still
Now
still
They
will?
will.
the only time that they're going to come by your house and knock on your door is after April 1st when you have not responded. If you respond, because they have a shape file of every single resident in Palm Beach County. Of every residential unit in Palm Beach County. So you're going to receive a card from the Census Bureau that with your address and asking you to go online and fill out the forms. If you do that, you're not going to hear from them.
Okay.
If you do not respond, yes, they're going to send a team out and they're going to knock on every single door that did not respond.
But you can, I think that we should clarify, there's some, you can request a paper
You can.
form. There's some people who may not be computer savvy, who may be older, or just may not have the internet.
Correct.
And have a whole lot of family
Right.
living there. They
Okay.
may be displaced people from natural disaster areas like Puerto Rico or the Bahamas. And it might be those of the Native Indian tribes. And they don't have physical addresses. So
Right.
there are other ways. So you're going to receive Palm Beach County, I believe, and Virginia, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that Palm Beach County can anticipate receiving in the mail receiving information about their census between March 12th and March 14th,
That is correct.
those 2 dates. And then you have until April 1st, which is the United States Census Day.
Okay.
Day. So that day is the magical day because if you were born on that day, you're counted. If you die the day after, you're still counted.
That's
Okay.
correct. That is correct.
So whether you are in a nursing home, whether you live in a dormitory and you have gone off to college, but your primary residence is still your parents' address, that's where that magical April 1st date should be the date where you reside the most often. That pertains to children, even children who are between two parents, who
Right.
they are.
Now, this is not numbers. This is basically, are you giving names out on the forms?
Yes.
You give,
Yes.
Okay, so you're giving names, because that was a question that someone asked me.
Sure. I have a copy here. It's
Okay.
it's really the bottom of this page. I don't know if you can see it.
No.
Okay. The bottom of this page and this page, and then for each additional person in the household, it's
Okay.
there. So it asks you your name, your date of birth, your gender. It asks you your place of origin. And it asks you whether or not you're Hispanic, Black, a combination thereof, which I found was interesting.
Okay.
Because now with genealogy and people doing, there's some of everything, but you can write that if you want to. It gives you that option, and they also ask for your telephone number.
Okay, and it does, that was another, someone asked me as well, too. If you have someone that lives there, like, temporarily, or you have people that, come over maybe a couple months, and they're living in two kind of different.
There is, I think it's number
Apartments.
two or 2A that asks you that.
Yes.
So if you are not included in the first part that says who lives with you, means who resides with you most of the time, then the next question is, please include those who you did not include in question, the answer number one. And those may be people who are just temporarily, it might be a cousin or niece who's
Right.
just there
You're
for
crashing.
the moment.
Right,
You're
they just
correct.
need,
Just
right.
for the moment. But if they have no plans to return to where they are, we want them to be counted for Palm Beach County
Absolutely.
because they're using the services of Palm Beach County. You get it?
Gotcha.
So this is all about services. So the services that you're utilizing, whether it's the roads, the health department, the fire department, the schools, police force, security, emergency response. If we have a hurricane, how do we get out of here? How do you evacuate? Where do people live? Where are they? Where do you need to go with a boat to say, are you still here?
All the information.
All of that information is census driven. It's economy. It's where the trends are. Who's moving to this area in Palm Beach County, and it's growing by leaps and bounds. But who's moving in what neighborhoods? What are the demographics? Are they male, female? Are they, educated or not? So that you know where the growth should be, where homes should be. You also need to know what housing type do you have. Do you need homes for assistance, for economic assistance? Do you need to have, affordable housing greater? Palm Beach County, we need some affordable housing here.
Yeah, we need
a lot of
affordable housing.
Do you need parks? Do you need after school Head Start care? Do you need assistance with lunch programs at school? What about our elderly, our Alzheimer's patients, where they're going to reside? Because those are certificate of needs. Where are those needs? Do we need hospitals? Do we need clinics? Walk-in emergency centers? What about public transportation and buses? We have Brightline, but everybody can't afford Brightline.
Correct.
So
Correct.
all of those come into the census.
Okay. Now, I want to kind of address the people that have this I don't want to say attitude, but let's just say this about, I don't want people in my business. They don't need to know how many people are in my house. They don't need to know my business. I'm not giving up Ray name.
Well, if you're getting services from the county, you need to give up the information so you can continue to get those services, because it is going to impact your pocketbook and your household.
Now that is very true.
Okay.
We do. We
I'm
need,
just saying.
we need roads. So even if you don't get certain type of assistance, your environment that you live in Palm Beach County, where we have adequate roads, where we have parks, etc. Because again, it goes back to the dollars and how the federal government allocates those dollars. When they look to see, is this a rural community? And Palm Beach County is a very complicated county. We go from urban, suburban, urban, and then rural. No, when people think of Palm Beach County, they don't think of agriculture.
Okay.
But it is.
But we are the 5th largest agriculture producing county in the nation. So we have a lot of agricultural areas here. And so along with that comes special type of housing needs. And so the more people impacted by it, we're able to go to the federal government, apply for grants, talk to them about the demographics. The reason they ask all of those questions on the census form is to determine who's living there. Do you have a large young population, such as children under the age of 18? It helps with schools being able to apply for grants. It helps with parks and rec departments, whether it's cities or it's the county or special districts. If your data from the census, your demographics show that you've got a large population and needs are there, and you meet the criteria of the grant, you're more than likely to receive that money. Plus, it helps us better plan for future needs of folks. We roughly have about 20,000 people move into Palm Beach County on an annual basis, and that's growing. As we get more and more tourists in, they see the area, they like what they see, and they end up buying real estate here. So we may be a second home. Now, Easter falls late this year. So April 1st is why we're so late with what we're doing with as far as collecting information with census.
Okay.
So for those individuals that this may be their second home, if you are spending a lot of time here in Palm Beach County, we really want to be your home for the census.
Right.
So fill out your form and account for you being here in Palm Beach County as opposed to New York or New Jersey, so that we can continue to provide the services that you've grown accustomed to receiving from Palm Beach.
Now, people are not here legally.
Let me ask you, if people are homesteaded in Florida, does that automatically require them to designate Palm Beach County as their census base?
If you are homesteaded in Palm Beach County, we consider you a permanent
There you
resident
go.
of Palm Beach County. And so therefore we should be the county that you fill out the census information for. Yes.
It should also be noted that the census will be in Spanish as well. I don't know about Creole.
We are requesting it, so we're working
Yeah,
with
and
the federal government.
Katrina, someone did say that they needed help with someone who explains it in the Spanish community and Hispanic communities as well.
We will
And we
definitely
are definitely-
collaborate with her in getting that done.
Actually, the county has partners, and so does cities. And so we've got our complete count committee.
Okay.
We actually intentionally reached out to Hispanic representation, along with Creole representation, and others that may be in our community of a large population. We want to ensure that people feel comfortable filling out the forms. And
not
so if you
complicated.
can,
No, but that's
and it comes, they'll print it in Spanish, but we're also looking to try to get it printed in Creole.
okay. Now, I mean, how about if a person is living here illegal?
What do you mean undocumented?
Undocumented.
Undocumented.
Sorry.
Okay, that's okay. Undocumented.
Correct me, honey.
No, they count
No.
as well because
Okay.
they're
Well, we
using
need to say that
services.
because that's a scare tactic too. Like, I don't want to put my information. I'm not supposed to be.
This information does not ask you for your social
Okay.
security information.
Okay.
Okay.
Nor does it ask you if you're
Documented or not documented.
documented.
It doesn't ask you
So-
visa. Doesn't ask you passport, it doesn't ask you that.
Yeah, it's just your date of birth, first, last name. Okay. Male or female. And basically what your ethnicity is. I just want to know. Because, again,
That's
these
a
are
very good
misconceptions
question.
why people won't do it. You know,
Right.
if I have a warrant, I'm not putting my name, that's people will say.
They know where you are. They're going to find
They
out where
know
you are.
anyway.
But those are the things that may cause people, or I mean, and as silly as
That's
it sounds,
true. No, it's
let's
not
just
silly.
say, let's just say, for example, you're on a special type of housing, and maybe only 2 people are supposed to be there, but you have 6 people living with you.
Well, as I stated early on,
That's a good question.
as I
You got to be
stated
counted.
early
You want to
on,
be counted, right?
the Census Bureau does not share their data. It's against the law,
Okay.
and there are strict punishments for them sharing it.
So I
And
get that out
so
there. 'Cause
it's not the FBI or ICE or any of those guys don't have access to this information. So please do not let that deter you from being counted.
But to go to your question, if you flip it over for a second, it does ask you, the first will list those who are living
Number
with
of
you
people.
and those who are visiting. So if they want to put them under the visiting folks, fine.
No, I want
but
them
they
to
live-
put them
put 'em
under the
under-
permanent people.
Because they are permanent.
They're
here.
permanent.
Right.
We're providing that service
That's
for
true.
them. We're extending our bus routes. We're increasing the number of folks that can ride the bus or any other service that
Or
they need.
special
So we
needs at
need to
school.
count them.
Okay.
Yes, we
I'm
need to count.
trying to just think of things that prevent people from just not filling out the information, and I want to just make sure after I say this what impact it has when we don't. But I just want to clear those things. And I know people in the back of their mind are gonna be like, yeah, right. They work with the government. They're gonna do it. But listen,
I don't work for the government.
you don't. But
don't.
what I'm saying is people don't like to disclose simple information
Right.
because there's always something maybe behind it why they feel like if I put down 6 people but my lease says 2, they're going to knock on my door.
They will not. They won't even.
And this is why we have to get that out.
Your landlord will know nothing about
Okay.
this.
Right.
They
You
will
hear that,
know
people?
nothing about this. But if you don't complete it and you're not counted, and let's multiply that by others who may not,
1,600.
then you're missing out on $1,600 and more. That's $1,600
correct.
per person, but it's more because you're using roads. And if you are living in a full household that's a little bit more full than is expected, that means you need some services, or you're getting some services from the county, and you need to be counted.
Might do some hearts and likes or some. Okay. I just listen. I'm trying to get our people educated, and I've heard the stories. I've heard why people don't participate in surveys, and they don't want the government in their business.
But then we
and
also hear, well, there's no program for my child, or there's for schools. It goes for Palm Beach County School District would receive money for special needs children. They will receive monies for grants for teaching teachers. They receive money for the after-school programs, parks, road.
Food.
Food.
Just free or reduced lunch.
Yes.
So you know where the kids are located in very extremely low income, and so you can then focus on that particular area to ensure those kids get square meals a day.
So you're doing yourself a disservice when you don't do it. Let's speak about that because, even though this happened 10 years ago, which was 2010, you got some documented data. I love it. Well, the maps.
Yes. I do.
I was saying she was going to be like the weather girl and say, this area here needs room or improvement. But I think when we show those charts, we show, the examples of who's participating, who's
That is
not,
correct.
what areas we may need to say, hey, wake up. Let's be counted, people. So let's start with, I guess, this one. Because this one is very red. I'm just going to say it's redder than my lipstick.
Red matches her what she has on.
Yes, it does. Well, in this area, you don't want to be red. See, this is a cool red. But this area, I don't think you want to.
No.
This
we
doesn't
don't
represent
want you to be
greatness.
red. No.
All
Not
right.
at all.
So, can you tell us? I know you may not can see it, but you'll kind of use your imagination caps. Put your imagination caps on.
I think
Okay.
have her here tell us what we're looking at.
Okay. So first.
Okay. This is a map that reflects the response in 2010. And so as you look at these maps, the red areas actually reflect 25 to 45% of the people did not respond. And these are our areas that we end up getting a lot of calls for various service. So we desperately need you to fill out these forms and fill out the form if you absolutely need a form, but to go online and fill out the census form. Again, if you do not have a computer at home or your computer is very slow and you want to speed it up, Palm Beach County libraries will have a section set aside in each of our libraries where you can go in and fill out your census form, and there will be people there to assist you.
Can you let them know, because they may not can see, what's this here? Who represents this area?
Okay.
And what place? What place?
Okay, so this area is the Glades
The Sea
area.
of Red.
And we have put in an insert that addresses the Glades area. We needed to respond. That's our agricultural area. And there are USDA grants that would be beneficial to us, rural type grants, etc. So we really need those forms to be sent back. And then along the coastal area, we can see that, you know, it's Riviera Beach. There are communities in Riviera Beach, West Palm. There are a few pockets up in the northern end, which I want to say that's Jupiter. Some of them have pockets, and others have very large areas that need to be, we need to make sure that we find out why you did not respond, and if there's a way for us to assist you in filling out the 2020 census form.
And remember, this was in 2010. A lot is changing in technology. Right. However, people in the Sea of Red, we need to get it together. I'm not sure why it seems like the ones that need it the most participate the least.
Well, I think,
we have to get the word out.
In the Glades area, you have a concoction of people from all over the world there. Some or many may not speak English. Some may be undocumented, many. And so there's a fear, there's a distrust.
Yes.
And so legally there was a huge fight at the Supreme Court level so that the confidentiality could be in place and they would not be asking questions like, are you documented or are you not documented?
Yes, yeah.
So that there would not be a penalty there. Still, we have to cross that barrier of trust. And by doing that, what we will do, as a member of the Census 2020 group, but also as a member of many organizations, we will be collaborating with many organizations, with elected officials, with other cities, multicultural groups, because you're talking about multicultural communications.
Correct.
Whether it be the Black elected officials, the West Palm Beach chapter of the Lynx, the West Palm Beach chapter, which is Zeta Tau Omega, AKAs, the Deltas locally, Pan-Hellenic group, period, Empower Her group, which is children. Because if you get children involved, children tend to encourage their parents to participate.
Mommy, I need to be counted.
Yes. And then explain why, you know? So it's involving children as well. Football players, you know, people who their peers will listen to. So we're tapping them to educate and make them aware so they can tap and educate others.
Right.
Absolutely.
And I think when we think about it, because when we think about money, you know, everyone loves money. So when you think about someone saying, if you get counted, we're going to give you $1,600. That's almost like saying that, because your $1,600 is counted for you.
It comes in different forms.
Right, it comes in different. Right, you're getting it. So I mean, I'm sure,
or not.
You got it right. You got to kind of think of it that way. That if I am counted on my paper, I'm going to get $1,600. Who doesn't want $1,600? Like I need it. I don't want it. I need $1,600. So I think, you know, saying it like that, kind of, we love money. We love benefits and we love money. So I think, you know, my audience, please make sure you get your $1,600 and whatever, you know, we're getting out of it. And I know it's in a lumps. It's over a course of time.
It is.
That helps you.
It is. It's over a course of time, but you should be able to see and to keep your officials accountable because, we talk about the maps here. So a lot of people use Google Maps and they use Waze. Well, our first responders use maps, those we call them intelligence maps, and they are looked at and rescoped after the census so that they know where the pockets of people are in times of emergencies. You want to be able to get to those people. Fire department needs to be able to get to you. Okay? Police need to get to you. Ambulances need to get to you. Do you need a hospital near you? Do you need an exit strategy if there's a hurricane coming? And what is that? If we don't have this, we don't know.
And the PSAs do say it affects your school system,
Absolutely.
your hospitals.
Absolutely.
All of it. And so we all know that healthcare is a major issue, along with housing. And all of those needs are intertwined. Because if you have decent housing, you're more than likely going to go to the doctor before you get really ill. You're going to eat better because you'll have somewhere to store your food. And then what we also want to make sure is that we've got enough demographics and data. So when businesses look to Palm Beach County, they will know the types of people in various areas and what business would serve those particular communities.
It's an attraction to those businesses.
Absolutely. I look at demographics when we're doing programs. I look to see how many young people do we have in a particular area and what are their needs. So when we start to design our Parks and Rec program, we can target those particular areas. If an area is primarily based on census demographics, a senior community, then we know we don't need to necessarily put in certain types of services because seniors won't utilize that service. But we know that they will utilize other services. So we put in the appropriate services. If it is a primarily minority community that would rather play soccer than football or basketball, then our energies ought to be in planning for soccer versus something that the kids aren't going to utilize when you put it in their neighborhood.
From a healthcare standpoint as well, we should also be mindful that the census also takes a look at medical research and the dissemination of that medical information. So if you've got a demographic of whatever, race, gender, and there's a particular need for a particular medication, particular, it could be anything. It could be diabetes. So you want to, it could be kidney failure, okay? And so that means you might need a dialysis center nearer to where that person is. So it needs to be information if there is an outbreak. Okay. The CDC needs to be able to access the census information so that there can be help, medical help, along the way. Without it, we don't have the help.
And speaking of help, because you two are ambassadors of this, how can the community help you? I know we got people. I see Mr. McCoy, who's a commissioner in Riviera Beach, look like he checked in. Hey, and hopefully I didn't miss anyone. But for the public officials, I know they know how important this is as well too. But how can the community help you all spread the word?
I'm gonna let.
Okay. If you go to Palm Beach County's website, we have a census page, and it's got all the census information on there. You can even download certain documents so that if you're in an organization and you want to put the links on that particular page, and this is one of the pages that's on our site that kind of talks about the census. It's got a form that talks about 2020. It tells people what those particular dollars, once we get them, will fund. It's got pbcgov.com /census. And so if you go to that site, there's a lot of information on the site. We want you to share it with your neighbors. For my organizations that I belong to, some of them know that they are partners with Palm Beach County in getting the word out and reaching out to the hard to count communities. And some of them don't, but they will very shortly. our churches need to
Absolutely.
step to the plate and help us as well, because in the long run, it's going to help every person in Palm Beach County.
And actually, census deals with that too for faith-based organizations. It goes to counting where those faith-based organizations will be placed and are. So all of those, everything has a point of interest, and everything and everyone does actually count.
Right. And I know the schools are also going to be heavily involved with the census.
Okay.
Because as you stated earlier, Celicia, kids have a way of getting their parents educated and involved. And so we want to make sure that our kids know that they are important and that they must be counted. We all must be counted. So when we go to draw county commission district seats, that has a huge bearing. I not only did the census in 2000 and 2010, but I also did the redistricting for Palm Beach County commissioners' seats in 2011. No, I'm sorry, 2001 and 2011. So the numbers mean a lot.
So it's economic power and political power.
That is absolutely correct.
It's
Economic
both
power
and political power.
Okay. You say it like that.
And this is one way to get your voice heard.
It's a democratic process. It doesn't take, it really takes very, very little time.
You got some hearts in the eyes. Mr. Neil Williams says Virginia Baker with hearts in the eyes.
Oh, that's nice.
You gotta. Hey Neil, make sure you're counted, because this is like I said, this is just not a Florida thing. This is U.S.
And
Absolutely.
and tell others, please tell others, and hope that you will post it on your
I definitely
pages.
will.
And a link we will link you to the census information so that you can. I know that your viewers will be filling out the census.
I know.
We
they
just
will
want
be.
to keep them educated so that they can
Absolutely.
educate and share with others.
Yes, and we definitely wanted, like I said, I wanted to, have the Mythbusters here, because a lot of times we just don't do things because we just are not educated on maybe why. So the Mythbusters, if you did not see it, and please rewind it back, is you're not going to get anybody knocking on your door and saying you're arrested because we were looking for you and we saw you were on the census paper, or if you are not supposed to have 20 people in your house and your landlord just thinks you have 4. You can put them.
Yeah, I never see it. But it's also I want to. I'm glad you said that about Mythbusters, so that you're not scammed. Okay, I don't want anyone to be scared. I tell you, people. There's a con artist everywhere. They will
Auntie
never.
Dina?
My aunt. Oh, my aunt. Okay.
Say, hey, Auntie Dina.
Yeah.
Oh, that would
Okay.
be-
That's you.
Yeah.
Dina. Okay. Or
You're
Dina.
not. Virginia. Oh.
Oh, I have an aunt named Dina too.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Giving out nicknames.
Okay.
All right. It's Anthony.
But no one will ever ask you who is affiliated with the census. They won't ask you for your social security number. They will not ask you for your PIN number. No. They will not ask you for your financial information. They will not ask you for your bank information. They will not ask you for a password. If anybody asks you any of those things, close the door.
And that's including phone calls too. Or
Yes.
text messages. Because
Will not ask you.
they've
They
gotten
will not
fancy
text
now.
you.
They've gotten
No.
fancy. And you see the FedEx text going around.
No, they're not
not
texting
gonna do
you.
that.
Okay.
No.
And anybody knocking on your door, you ask them for their identification from the Census Bureau.
Right.
And if they can't produce that, first of all, don't open your door if you don't know who that individual is.
Period.
And for our seniors especially, do not give out your information. The Census Bureau, as stated earlier, is not going to ask you for that type of information. We pretty much share with you the type of information that they will request of you.
Thank you, Leah.
And if there are any questions, you can always pick up the phone and call the census hotline. And so they will then answer those questions for you. It should be a 1-800 number. And so we'll make sure that information is put up on our website.
Right. And I will also, too, if I get it, I can put it on the title of the show tonight. I'll re-edit it so that way they'll have it. But, like I said, please make sure you share. We have no excuse now to say we didn't know. You mean to tell me that no?
And many other organizations, it's really a collaborative effort because it's that important. And I'm very pleased to know that so many of the organizations, community-based organizations, not just the elected officials, but community-based organizations. You know, the National Coalition of 100 Black Women, all of the Greek organizations, the Links, the elected officials, and they are key because elected officials have already run races, so they know where their pockets of people are who are difficult or challenged to reach. They know that already, so it saves us time and energy so that we can go straight there.
Okay. Gotcha.
And let them be aware.
And speaking of elected officials, you know, this is a very, very, very important voting year.
Yes.
So I'm sure we'll have these ladies back on. We got to get everybody registered to vote.
Yes.
We got to get everybody to the polls.
Yes.
All that good stuff. So
March
And
17th.
educated on the issues that you're going to be voting on.
you just threw an important date out. Look, can you, for someone who's saying, what is, thank you, Anthony.
March 17th,
Yeah, what's
2020?
What's March 17, 2020?
That's the voting day. That is the March voting day.
Okay.
For,
That's
for municipal, for your local.
The one of the most important ones.
For your local elected officials.
Local elected officials.
That is more important than the presidential race by far for citizens because the local officials dictate what goes on in your life. Put it this way. The president can't do anything without his supporting cast. So the supporting cast of those people who we vote for in March that govern what we do locally and then what we do on the state level, and that's later. If we fail to do that, then we are bamboozled.
Well, and just to drive it home, your local people are the ones you see in church. They're the people you can put your hands on in the grocery store and tell them what your issues are. You don't have to call and leave a message in Washington because your sewer is not working properly. You call your county commission or your city commissioner, and they are closer to you. So they have the biggest impact on your life.
See, Miss Baker's did was so nice. She was like, oh, the people that you sit in church with. I'm going to do it the other way. The people that can arrest you. The people that you might be in front of. Your Honor. Your Honor.
Yes.
Oh.
That's true.
That is
Yeah.
true.
Those are the people that are going to be locally affecting you.
That's very
So
true.
that's who you want to get to know.
Yes.
Backgrounds. You know, you don't want to go in the ballot and say, well, who is this person? Who is that person? You want to actually get to know them and vet them because when they earn your vote, they should earn your vote
Absolutely.
for the right reason. So again, the local, we got to get better with March 7th. So March 17th should be ringing in our ears. Like,
We'll keep you posted, and
please.
you have many
Please.
pages and tentacles that you're going to
Please.
help us get this out.
Yes, we have no excuse not to know who's on the ballot
That
for
is true.
2020. A lot of big things. So, any final words? I know we're a little shy of 8, but that's okay. We don't have to drag it out if we don't have anything else. If you have anything else, or if you have any questions, real quick for these ladies, feel free. Whatever they can add, whatever they can say, they can say. Whatever they can't, sorry. But any final words?
No, just to remember that when you receive the census information, it's easier not to set it aside. Go ahead and respond to it right then. It's that makes it simple. Just respond to it right when you get it, and then you're done.
When should they be getting this information?
Between March 12th and 14th here in Palm Beach County.
Okay, so those 2-day windows, you check your mail.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is correct. And it will have your household address on there. So if it's 2 or 3 families living in that household, make sure that you fill it out for your family, but the other families living in that household, make sure they fill one out as well.
So that's a good question. Let me ask you, because I did see that
Well,
they're going to have it says one person one.
Yes, but then it goes person 2, person 3, person
So
4,
how many
person 5.
sheets does it give?
It goes.
Again,
That's
it's going to be more of a card that tells you you need to do it because paper is going to be a second option.
Right.
It
This
is
is
not
just
going
a
to be the
sample for you.
primary
Got
option.
you.
This
Okay.
is just a sample of what
Oh, yeah, 'cause
type of
it's electronic.
information.
It's electronic.
It's
That's what I was
electronic.
thinking. Okay.
And so when you fill it out for your family, make sure the other families living with you fill it out. So if Uncle Buddy living with you,
Right.
because his
that nigga,
primary
Uncle Buddy.
is its primary resident at the moment, and he doesn't have another one, then he needs to fill it out for that address as a separate family within your household.
If you've moved from Puerto Rico, from Maria, and you live here now, then here is where you
That is
are.
correct.
This is your home. These are where you receive it. This way, if you get sick and go to the hospital, where you going?
You're going to
Palm
hospitals in
Beach
Palm
County.
County.
That's right. That's right. So this is where you want to put the address. As of April 1st, where are you living?
Gotcha. All right.
There you go.
Well, I want to thank everyone who has joined us tonight. I want to thank everyone who's going to share this video, because I know you're going to share. Black Girl Trend, please make us trend. People of power, audience, it is imperative that we get this information out. Again, this does not just affect Palm Beach County, does not affect just Florida. It is the whole United States. So we all need to be counted for, and think about it. $1,600 is on the line for each person that lives and breathes.
And we all count.
So remember,
I count, you count, we
you count, we count.
We all count.
We all count. Well, I know I count, honey. No.
Thank you.
I'm just saying, have a great night, everybody. And remember, hit the share button. It doesn't prick your finger, and it doesn't cost you a dime. But this actually can cost you $1,600.
That is correct.
See you later. Bye.
Good night.
Bye.